Paul Cleveland with Boundary Stone, and we're here to provide you with resources to equip you to engage with your culture and your world in an effective way. We're talking a little bit about the process of taking dominion. In the opening chapters of Genesis, God says that He made us in His image. And He's given us a task to go out and to take dominion of creation, take dominion of this world. I want to talk a little bit, what does it mean to bear the image of God? If you read theologians, of course, there's a number of characteristics that we share with God, in the sense that we're aware of ourselves, we are cognitive, we think, we have volition and will, we're moral creatures. But I want to talk about another aspect of that, and that has to do with sovereignty. Now, Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, we know that. And when Moses wrote that opening chapter of Genesis, and he told his readers that God has created us in His image, the notion that you would bear the image of God, that was not unfamiliar either in Egypt or Mesopotamia. I mean, it was generally used. However, it was never universally applied to everyone. Only one person bore the image of God, and then he was to discern God's will and then impose it from the top down on everyone else, and that was Pharaoh, the king. The king bore the image of God. Well, that's sort of presumptuous, and so what Moses was doing, it was his challenge in that. He said, that's not the way it is at all, dear reader. No, every one of you, men and women, are sovereign. You are kings and queens. You are intended to discover God's will for your life and live it out in His creation by taking dominion. Now think about this for a moment. All of a sudden, every human being has infinite worth in God's eyes, even as God has infinite worth. The being who just is, and who is capable of calling something out of nothing into existence, and who sustains all things. And He's created us in His image, and therefore that really affects the way we would see other people and how we would interact with other people and treat other people. Think of it for a moment. It begins to give meaning to the concept of loving our neighbors. And how do we do that? Well, it's, this is 1 Corinthians 13. What does love do? Also, in that, love keeps the second half of the 10 Commandments. We don't steal from one another. We don't murder one another. We don't lie to one another. We don't do these sorts of things. And we don't commit adultery against one another. We don't do these things. Why? Well, if we want to love our neighbors, we just don't do it. Now, I know we live in a fallen world. We find that out in Genesis chapter 3. And so our ability, our efforts to live in love are going to fall so far short. But at least we have a target to aim for. And it makes a difference then in how we interact with others around us, how we see other people, how we see their work. If you really love your neighbor, you're not going to try to steal their stuff. You're not going to try to force them to provide something just because you happen to want it. No, you're going to treat people with honor and with respect. You're going to respect their property. You're going to respect their choices. You're going to respect them as individual people. And so, that's why, once again, we come back to morality. Morality matters. So, just something for you to think about today. And so, if you want to explore further some of the things on our website's boundarystone.org, and check out the resources that we're offering you there. We're trying to provide you with those things that you need to lead effective lives. Once again, Dr. Paul Cleveland with Boundary Stone. See you next time.